to a deer, to a baby deer. And he just became obsessed with this baby deer, just completely obsessed. And, you can read about it in the Bhagavatam. What sort of qualities and qualifications he felt the deer had, which it was all just hallucination. And so what was the result? The result was he took birth as a deer. I mean, it's very unusual for someone who's a devotee to get, someone in his case who's been a devotee for years, to get into such a situation. But anyway, it happened to him. And we don't know where we might end up, particularly if somehow we get sidetracked and get caught up in material existence. We don't know. But it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be living in a nice, as we say in Chatsworth, a nice Lani house in Capetown. You know what I mean? It could be anywhere. And Maharaj Bharat is a special case, but there are many examples of people who were devotees and they did get sidetracked. And in their next lives, their situations materially were worse, although they managed to carry on in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. And even, the famous example of Srila Prabhupada himself, he got married, and when you get married, it takes a while. You get to know the person better. You may have thought you knew the person, but you find out you didn't know them as well as you thought you knew them, and after some time you get to know them better. And it may not be better, it may be worse. Haribol. So anyway, Srila Prabhupada, he got married to this young lady, and after a little while he found she was not the person he thought she was. He thought, she was from a devotee family, and he thought, yeah, she's a nice devotee, and so we will be Krishna conscious together. But when they were married, after a little while, it became clear she wasn't interested. She was practically not interested at all in being Krishna conscious and sharing that with Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada complained to his father that, this is not what I was hoping for. Can we change the situation in one way or another? And his father said a very interesting thing, that, it's actually better if you're not too attached to your wife, because then you can give more attention to your Krishna consciousness without it being a struggle, being sort of enraptured by your wife or your husband. Anyway. So all of you who are married, anyway, you know where you stand now, I think. And all of you who are going to end up being married, Hare Krishna, good luck. we pray to God. May He smile on you. But yeah, so anyway, the idea is to utilize this human form of life spiritually. Use our intelligence. Instead, for understanding how to make more money, which, is the case with so many people, to put it mildly. Not that maintaining oneself in a decent way is wrong, but to become extravagant and get carried away, you're just inviting trouble in spiritual terms. So it's designed and constructed to facilitate spiritual development. Meaning, the development of our relationship with God. That is actually the idea. So now, in that sort of scenario, with that general picture in mind, people become involved in Krishna consciousness. I mean, I think basically pretty much all of us except the children. The children here were born in Krishna consciousness pretty much. Were you born in Krishna consciousness? You were. And was she just behind you? Not quite, almost. Anyway, but you were, yeah, from day one and before, born in Krishna consciousness. So, otherwise all of us, including me, we came to Krishna consciousness somehow or other, in one way or another. I remember seeing Prabhupada first time, and he was the first devotee I saw, in the university in Auckland, New Zealand. And I'd heard of Krishna consciousness. Not that I knew about it, but I just had heard, I knew about Hare Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna. And when Prabhupada started giving a talk there, after a little while, he started talking about using, the word Krishna, talking about Krishna. And I suddenly understood, oh, this is Hare Krishna. Oh. And then I thought about Prabhupada. I thought, oh, maybe he's Krishna. Sorry about that. But anyway, you got to start somewhere. So it wasn't too bad a place to start. At least he was the first devotee I saw. Yeah, so anyway, we've all come to Krishna consciousness in one way or another. Oftentimes devotees have like real stories. Wow, how I became a devotee. What happened? Phew. And I ended up becoming a devotee. Yes, so when you do become a devotee, then now we've got to think, okay, we've got to develop this now, we've got to get into it and not like sort of reach a certain level, fairly quickly, some sort of comfort level, you could say, materially within Krishna consciousness, and think, yeah, okay, that's enough for me. I don't need to go any further. I'm comfortable in Krishna consciousness. So actually we need to have like a progressive type of mood and mentality about our Krishna consciousness. Like, in so many careers, people have progressive mentalities, how to be promoted and all that sort of thing. So the same principle, you could say, applies in Krishna consciousness. Now I've become a devotee, either being born as a devotee or by accident or somehow or other it happened, and here I am now. I'm a devotee. However it happened, but now I've got to work on it and really make the most of it and really try to progress and get from it what's available. I mean, as much as actually possible. And that means to become qualified to return to the kingdom of God. And, even though life in Rondebosch is quite nice, I mean, it's not bad, it's pretty good. It's not as good in those terms as, what's it called up the hill there? Bishop's Court. That's more sort of Lani, as we would say. Excuse me using chats speak. Yeah, better off, more opulent. So now what's that going to involve? If you're going to try and be progressive, how are you going to go about it? Well, a very important or essential part of that is that, we are starting spiritually from down, and we have to go up. Like I said, I was so down as I was 20 years old. I was so down that I didn't even know, what is a devotee. And I saw Prabhupada and he was talking about Krishna. I thought he was Krishna. That's pretty down, isn't it? That's not very up at all. So we got to go up. Now the thing is, in Krishna consciousness going up, well, as many of you would be well aware, in general, there are two sort of conceptions of how one may go up in anything, including just at work, your career and all that. There's the ascending process and the descending process. And, a very good and I think very clear and important example of the shortcomings, the frailties of the ascending process, which means basically you make your way up. An example is the development of medical science. Medical science. I don't know if any of you here are doctors, but, as you get older like me, you get to know quite a lot of doctors. You develop relationships with quite a lot of doctors of different types. Sure, I know a whole range. So now all that information of medical science, you can go to university and then by the descending process of just receiving it from the people who know, and then after 5 or 6 years or whatever, then you become sort of pretty competent medically, pretty competent. Or you can try and figure it out for yourself and just not bother with receiving information from others. But rather, I'll work it out for myself. But it has taken humanity how many hundreds of years, talking about Western medicine, how many hundreds of years, a good few hundred years, to develop the stock of knowledge about medicine, which you can learn in 5 or 6 years at university, at medical school. You get the idea. And the beginning of psychology was a hammer and a chisel. Do you get the idea? You got to go into the person's brain and make some physical adjustments. That's how psychology started developing. Haribol, any volunteers? Anyone got some anxieties or depression? So it's developed a lot since the hammer and chisel days. Yeah, and it's taken a long time. So similarly, in Krishna consciousness, in spiritual life, if you want, you can try and figure it all out for yourself. And we say, good luck, why not? But the idea in Krishna consciousness is to become good recipients. Good recipients. in that descending process, rather than trying to figure it out. Who is God? Who am I? What am I? All these types of big questions. So, here in Krishna consciousness, we very specifically use a descending process, knowledge, information about what to do, how to do it, what not to do, etc. All these things come down. And an interesting little point, in Prabhupada Leelamrita, Prabhupada's main biography, Prabhupada was on the ship, 1965, on his way to New York. And they went through the Suez Canal and then crossed through the Mediterranean. And the captain, so they're in the middle of the ocean. It's just, as they say, water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. You remember that?
Yes.
Did you learn that in school? So just lots of water and no land in sight in any direction. And the captain came up to Prabhupada and said, you know what? We will see land just over there in, he looked at his watch, 45 minutes. And Prabhupada thought, really? What makes you think that? But sure enough, in 45 minutes, land ahoy. There was some land. And Prabhupada was wondering, how did he know that? But the thing was, the captain had been on that route, and he knew these things. So he was able to say it. So similarly, we need information ultimately from Krishna, who's the supreme authority, but at least also from those who have progressed more than us and have been through what we are going through in our Krishna consciousness and can help us deal with situations which otherwise may really be quite perplexing for us. So this is the descending process, ultimately coming from the Supreme Lord himself, actually, to us. But also in the meantime, coming from the devotees, who are more progressed, more advanced, more experienced, more knowledgeable, etc., than we are. And this is all part of the descending process. So, a particular sort of manifestation of that principle is this, what we're doing today, initiation. Initiation means one accepts a teacher, not that you're then not going to learn from anybody else at all, you just, exclusively focus on that person to the total exclusion of others. Not that, but someone who's the main guide. The main guide. And not just the main guide, but who will take responsibility for us. Yeah, and be there for us. This is very important. Someone who is committed to us. And someone who's on a higher level, more progress, closer to Krishna than we are, but who is going to be there for us through thick and thin and so on. So this is like, you could say, an essential part or the essence of the first initiation, that one accepts a spiritual master, commits to the spiritual master, who commits to you as your ongoing guide. And like I said, not that you have nobody else giving input, you definitely do, but he is the main one. And the thing is that through himself being initiated by a spiritual master, in that case it would be Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, who is also initiated and connected with someone else further up the chain, and step by step all the way back to Krishna, then you become connected more strongly to the line coming from Krishna. You know, you've heard the saying, it's not a matter of what you know, but who you know. Usually, means corruption. That's the usual idea. Nepotism or something along those lines. But in this case, it's not. Yes, it's a matter of being accepted by those who have been accepted in the line, and in that way becoming really connected to the line more strongly than you have been before you were initiated. And meaning that before you're initiated, it's not that you're not connected. It's not that you're like disconnected and you're just sort of nowhere. No, you're connected to Srila Prabhupada by his instructions and to the Parampara via the other devotees who give input. But now in initiation, the connection becomes stronger, much stronger. Of course, it depends also on how much you utilize it. If you really put it to work, put the relationship to work. But if you do, then it's very transformative and just really wonderful. Really amazing thing. Because descending means we are dependent on mercy which is coming down rather than ascending. We sort of have to create our own mercy or something like that. Yeah. So Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is very kind, very merciful. And he's particularly kind to everyone. But he's sort of particularly kind to those who they really want to progress, and that doing it in the ways that he prescribes, like through the descending process, through his representatives like that. So that the mercy flows down to you without you necessarily having to do very much yourself. I mean, in one sense, all you've got to do is sort of hang in there and just have your heart open so the mercy can flow in. Yes, so that's Krishna consciousness. How to get the mercy of the Supreme Lord and the mercy of the devotees who represent the Supreme Lord. And then, by their mercy, how to learn how to be a devotee, how to become a devotee, and how to progress in Krishna consciousness. So, Prabhupada would give the example, which I'm sure practically all of you know, of the electrical department. And you know, in this example, Krishna is like the powerhouse, the source, and the parampara, the line of devotees through the generations coming to the present day, they're like the wiring system. It goes through all different places and stages before it comes in and lights up the lights here, for example. So, and in that line of, like the power coming from the electrical powerhouse coming to the lights. Now, the good thing here is, in that line, there is no load shedding. Why do they call it load shedding? It sounds like it's sort of something sophisticated, but it's just stupid. They're arrangements for electricity fail. Why don't just say that and be honest? I mean, I was in India a few weeks ago, and there was no load shedding. I was almost missing South Africa. Not really. I'm just joking. But seriously, there was no load shedding. I remember in India, because I've been going there for nearly 50 years, the power would just go off. That's it, just go off. And then it would come back on sometime. Might be tomorrow, might be the next day, might be in half an hour. And sometimes it would come on in such a way, like if you have one of these ceiling fans and then some lights in the ceiling, it would sometimes come on with such a surge that the ceiling fan would be running so fast you'd think the building would take off. And the lights were so bright, it was like you're in the Brahma Jyoti or something. Blinding light. And suddenly, pop, some of the lights would just pop. So that was the good old days, but now, there's pretty steady electrical supply. We can learn something from them. So yeah, that's the thing. It comes down, and it comes down to these lights, and in this example, it comes down into our hearts. Yes. So the spiritual master plays such an important part in terms of giving guidance. The spiritual master is a teacher, but the spiritual master is also more than that, is a connection to the line on the level of the heart. For example, devotees, when they offer food, they want to eat some food, so they know we only eat food which is offered to the Lord, but it's offered first to the spiritual master, who offers it to his spiritual master, to his, and finally it ends up with Krishna. But actually the process is immediate. It's not that you have to wait half an hour or a day or something. But, Krishna, he finally got it. You get an email back. Krishna got your offering. It's immediate. And when you offer it, your state of mind in preparing it, if you're cooking something, in offering it, may not be so pure. Like you may think, yes, I want to eat something. What do I want to eat? And then you'll prepare something in terms of what you want. And then you offer it to Krishna, but you're offering it because you want it. Yeah, so it's not exactly a pure offering. But then it's passed through the line of parampara, and any impurities that were there of, like looking at your sabji, if you're preparing your cooking, an aloo sabji, potato sabji, and thinking, looks good. I think it's going to taste good. It's a bit of impurity. But those things become cleansed away in the process of offering, and you get the benefit of a pure offering being made to the Lord. Anyway, this is sort of some background information, but let us say, just getting down to the essentials, that when someone wants to be initiated, they have to be able to maintain certain spiritual standards. So, first standard, what is first, but one of the standards is to be able to chant on the beads every day, at least 16 rounds. More is fine, you're allowed to do more. But less is a no-no. And one has to be able to do it regularly and not sort of like, battle your way through it so that finally in the evening you feel, wow, I managed to finish my rounds. No, we should be able to do our rounds. Ideally just do them nicely, and if there's a bit of time, do some more. And therefore, when one is initiated, as we'll see the two devotees receiving initiation, that they have to vow, I will chant at least 16 rounds a day. And then, of course, they're expected, it's a vow, they're expected to maintain that. And then they vow to follow the 4 regulative principles. No meat, fish, or eggs, onions and garlic. Some would include chocolate. That the jury is still out on that, really. But certain would include chocolate. Mushrooms. Prabhupada ate mushrooms once, but consider it. What is it? It's fungus. You know what fungus is like? Did you ever have fungus between your toes or something? It's fungus. Anyway, Haribol. So, certain dietary things. Then no intoxication, including tea and coffee. And I often mention how when I was in England, I was there for 7 years, and I was quite a bit of the time distributing Prabhupada's books on the streets of London a lot and other places, but a lot in London. And the police didn't really know what to do with us because, we're sort of nice guys. We're not like criminals, hard cases, something like that. We're nice people, pleasant. But now we sometimes we bother people because some people don't like to be stopped. So what to do with us? So they would arrest us, not for selling things without a license, but for, what was the term? Anyway, blocking the highway, which is the footpath down the main street of London or wherever. So we would get arrested, and I was arrested. I never kept count. I should have done. It would have been an interesting thing for my biography sometime. But I got arrested. It must have been between 50 and 100 times. Oh yes. So you are looking at a criminal, a persistent blocker of the highway. And we'd be fined £5, which in England is nothing. Later we went and met with them and said, listen guys, let's work something out. But when we would, in London at least, have to appear in the court the next day, they'd sort of give us a ticket. We'd have to come back the next morning. So we'd have to go into the holding cells before we'd actually go in front of the magistrate. And on the walls, there were all these stickers. Alcoholics Anonymous, you got a problem? Drinking, Alcoholics Anonymous. Narcotics Anonymous, you got a problem with drugs, contact us. And there was one for, would you believe, Tea Drinkers Anonymous. Because some people, it's addictive, and some people get addicted. I mean, you might be surprised to hear that. Yeah, it's a fact. These little old ladies, they're like 35 cups of tea a day. They just can't stop because it's actually got, very mild but some addictive qualities. Anyway, I was saying no intoxication, including tea and coffee. Yes, and best to avoid things with nicotine, nicotine, like Coca-Cola, these types of things. Although the intoxicating effect is practically unnoticeable. So then, no gambling. No gambling. We don't want to see any of you at the casino. I remember, I remember we had to use a hotel down the wild coast in Natal, KwaZulu-Natal, back in those days, the apartheid days. So there was not a lot of hotels down there. So we had to go and inspect the casino, at least, the Wild Coast Hotel. And first thing is you walk through the casino part, and there's people playing, on the slots and whatever else they do. And would you believe, we saw a few people who we knew. People who attend, I don't think initiated devotees, but people who attend our temple in Durban. Yes. And we saw there was a few old ladies, really old ladies, in their saris, and they were playing the slot machines. Oh gosh. So anyway, no gambling. And then no illicit sex, which certainly includes not outside of marriage, certainly included, but also, strictly speaking, just at times where the likelihood of pregnancy occurring is really the greatest. There's a whole science behind that, probably you know it a lot better than me. But that idea. So the devotees vow, they take these vows not to do these things. And then they receive the Hare Krishna Mahamantra via the sanctified chanting beads. These are Bhakti Esther's sanctified chanting beads. Don't they look nice? They're really nice beads, actually. So, they have been sanctified and they'll be given to her. And, she's been chanting, really seriously for a few years, right? And maybe on and off or something, or really seriously maybe.
I've really been chanting.
Huh?
I've been chanting already.
Okay. Anyway, Hare Krishna. She's a good girl. Very nice. Yeah, so she's already chanting. In order to become initiated, you have to be already chanting for some time, at least a year or two, 16 rounds. And normally it takes a little while to build up to 16 rounds. So the devotees get their sanctified chanting beads. And, so many devotees who've been initiated have told me personally that when they got their new beads and now they're initiated and they're chanting now, they were chanting before, but now, after initiation, they really feel a change, like a positive change in their chanting. Yes, so like this, it's practical and it helps, noticeably helps. Yes, and then of course the main thing, but the most sort of vivid thing is the devotees get new spiritual names. Names of Krishna or ladies, maybe names of Radharani or, it just depends, but they get new spiritual names, Krishna conscious names. And, I have a practice actually of asking not always, but in many cases, candidates, is there any particular name you like? Because I've had the experience on, not a lot of occasions, but I think 3 times, in the middle of an initiation ceremony with a whole lot of like maybe 20 devotees there, someone gets their name and sits down and says, you know, I don't like this name. And on the spot you're meant to give another name. So therefore it's a good practice, I feel, to ask, get some suggestions at least. So the devotees get new spiritual names. And that's, you know, sort of the package, you could say, for first initiation. Then second initiation, of course, well, it only comes after first, so it's more, it's higher. And we also call it Brahminical initiation. And Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he talks about the qualities of a Brahman. That Brahmins should have qualities: peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance. What is it?
Wisdom and knowledge.
Let me ask my phone. Chaladam Stvaksha Shanti Archanameva Chadyana Vigana Nastikam Brahmakarma Svabhavajam. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmins work. So when the senior devotees see in a particular yatra or community that a certain already first initiated devotee is developing these qualities and is clearly progressing and is just more into it, then the devotee may be given second initiation. So we have one such nice devotee, Mataji Sachipriya, who's getting second initiation today. Very good. So there you go. So now we should call the devotee, shouldn't we? Or do you want to do some preliminary something? Call them. We'll go. First I'll call Jayant Prabhu. Are you here? Oh, there you are. That's good. Now we had a couple of no-shows. Believe it or not, it has happened.
No, once they perform the Lakshman, we do that.
Actually, I think I've only had one no-show, but I still had one. See the Prabhupada. So yes, this is Dr. Jayant Prabhu. He's living here out sort of Sunningdale, is it? Buckland's north. Buckland's north way. And he's got a nice family, nice wife, Mayuri, and a lovely little daughter.
Now we look to Chaitanya and Prabhupada and say it's true rather than
And his daughter was Lakshmi last night in the play. Oh, she was very good. Yes, so loud and clear, because we only have one microphone. Could you, well anyway the other microphone's busy, can you please tell us what are the 4 regulative principles you're vowing today to follow?
No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex.
Okay, and meat eating, of course, includes, various other related things. Okay, and what is the minimum number of rounds you'll chant?
16 rounds.
Very good. So, we had a little discussion about a name, and it sounded, according to Mayuri, and she should know, that something with like Jai something, something or other, might be nice. Am I right, Mayuri?
Yes.
I am right. That's great. Jai. So, I think you'll like this. I like this very much. From today on, your name will be Jai Shri Krishna. Okay. Get used to it. Okay. Very well. And Bhakti and Esther. So I guess you sit down. Well, anyway, Shananda Prabhu. Yes, she has been around Krishna consciousness for more than 20 years. But she really blossomed here in Capetown. Kind of assortment of garlands.
You can sit, John. It's just the soft one.
Thank you.
Put it around your neck.
Put it on your neck.
Offer obeisances, chant the noun mantras audibly. Yeah. Okay, Hare Krishna, Bhakti Nirvana, Hare Bol. Yes, so please tell us, what are the 4 regulative principles you're vowing today to follow?
No meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, and no intoxicants.
Very good, thank you. And what's the minimum number of rounds you'll chant every day?
16 rounds.
Good, thank you. Right, so, well, we discussed briefly, what sort of name you might like, and I thought, it was a very good idea, very nice name. The name of a very sacred place. The place of a very sacred person. Oh yeah, really wonderful. From today on, your name will be ISKCON Devi Dasi. Jai Shri Krishna Prabhu. Okay, and Mataji, just come and see me at the end, and I have to give you the mantras. This is Mataji who's giving second initiation. Okay, so now, ISKCON Devi Dasi must sit down there. Oh, and yeah, you must also.
So the first thing that we should
Are you going to be okay, or would you like a chair or something? You're okay.
So we should garland these initiates. So I believe it's arranged. a quite sacrifice.
For what it's worth.
It's worth a lot, marriage.
So we request His Grace Jyoti Mahaprabhu and her Grace Vachilasini Mata to please come and sit and throw grains for us in Swasti Vachana. Actually, a little bit of a rush this morning. Actually, I didn't get a chance to actually install the Vedas, so I hope you bear with me. We're going to do that first. So in these four coconuts, which is considered a pure environment, we're going to call the Vedas to take up residence. So we do that the following way. Om Chatavemevyo Namaha Avahayami Stapayami. Simple but effective. Actually, Vedic culture thinks are done with mantra because mantras are very powerful. So now, since we call the Vedas, we're going to worship them. You know, I was thinking that we didn't have any sort of really, really nice sandalwood incense, and I think it'd be so nice if we got some sandalwood incense to perform this fire yoga. And just a few days ago, somebody brought me a whole packet. It just goes to show that Krishna does fulfill our desires, actually. Eshaduba Om Tatu Chatavede Namaha. And of course, here you can do some soft kirtan, very gentle, not loud. Someone can take this around and offer it to everyone. Ishagamba, Om Chakadevyo Namaha. Lakshmi Om Chakradevyo Namaha. Okay, so in this ceremony we are especially asking for blessings above everything. The spiritual life is not easy actually, we require blessings of the spiritual master and also others. Therefore we chant the mantra Krishna, Krishna and his associates and all the great acharyas in our line. So also we've called 3 very nice brahmanas to help us, because the first thing we're going to do is chant what we call the Swasti Vachana. Swasti means auspiciousness and Vach means to call. So in this ceremony we want to drive away inauspiciousness and call auspiciousness, and therefore we have these very experienced brahmanas in our midst. So we're going to throw rice grains, akshata, rice mixed with turmeric, and there are some mantras to chant which are very nice. So everyone's got their card, you take some of the, if you performed Archman, please. Done, okay. So if you take some of the grains in your right hand, and then I think actually they all know how to do it, so we'll just get on with it. Om Purnantu Mandayajana Purnantu Manasadhyana Purnantu Vishvabhutani Jataveda Punihimam. The translation is as follows: Purify me, O Devas, purify the thoughts of my mind. Purify me of all living entities. O Agnidev, please purify me. Om Asya Kamana Punyaham Bhavantu Bhavantu. Om Punyaham, Om Punyaham, Om Punyaham. Om Asya Kamana Swasti Bhavantu Bhavantu. Ayushman Swasti. Om Swasti, Om Swasti, Om Swasti. Om Asya Kamana Hridim Bhavantu Bhavantu. Om Hridyatam, Om Hridyatam, Om Hridyatam. So the translation of these 3 mantras is as follows. The first one, let there be good fortune in this ceremony we're about to perform. The second one, let there be all prosperity in this ceremony we're about to perform. And the third one, let there be great praise in this ceremony we are about to perform. Now there's a mantra which I'll give the translation afterwards. Om Swastino Govinda, Swastino Chitananta, Swastino Vasudevo Vishnu Didatu, Swastino Narayano Narvai, Swastino Padmanava Purushottamo Didatu, Swastino Vishakshena Vishveshvara, Swastino Hishikesho Harididatu, Swastino Vanaiteo Harihi, Swastinanjana Sito Hanur Bhagavato Didatu, Swasti Swasti Sumangalaikesho Mahan, Shri Krishna Satchidanandagana, Sarveshvareshvaro Didatu. The translation is as follows. May Lord Govinda, Achyuta, and Antishesh, Vasudeva, and Lord Vishnu bestow auspiciousness upon us. May Naranarayan, Padmanabha, Purushottama bestow auspiciousness upon us. May Vishwakshena, the Lord of the universe, Rishikesha, and the Lord Hari bestow auspiciousness upon us. May Garuda, the son of Anjana, who is a great devotee of Lord Ram, Hanuman, bestow auspiciousness upon us. May the great and only Lord of auspiciousness, Sri Krishna, who is like a transcendental cloud, full of eternity, knowledge and bliss, and who is the Lord of all the demigods, bestow upon us all prosperity and auspiciousness. So you can take your seats. Thank you very much for assisting. I appreciate that very much. So now we'll perform archman and change the beads. So I want you to take the archman spoon in your right hand and take a little of the water. Sprinkle it on your left hand and discard the water. Then take a spoonful of water from the archman pot with the left hand. Sprinkle it on your right hand and discard the water. Another spoonful from the archman cup. Cup your palm, like so. Allow a few drops to fall into the palm. Look into the water and chant Om Keshavaya Namaha, and then sip from the base of your palm. Take a spoonful of water, purify your hand, discard the water. Another spoonful of water, allow a few drops to fall into the palm of your hand. Look into the water and chant Om Narayana Namaha. Sip the water from the base of your palm. Purify your hand. One more time. Cup your hand, allow a few drops of water to fall into your hand. Look into the water and chant Om Madhavaya Namaha. Sip the water from the base of your palm. So we are purifying, and one could ask, what are we purifying from? And the answer is, we're purifying ourselves from the influence of the material nature. So now that we've purified water, and we're also going to do it with mantra. So everybody can chant. It's such a nice mantra from the Garuda Purana. So I go Om, and you go? Om. Let's try a little more enthusiasm. Om. Okay, that's better. Apavitra. Pavitrova. Salvavastam. Vitobima. Yasmavid. Pundarikaksham. Sabhaya. Abhyantara Suchihi. That was a little tricky enough. Let's try that again. Sabhaya. Abhyantara Suchihi. Okay, that was better. Shri Vishnu. Shri Vishnu. Shri Vishnu. So the translation of this mantra is as follows: either pure or impure, or having passed through all conditions of material life. If one can remember the lotus-eyed Krishna, he becomes externally and internally clean. So we can change the ring beads now. Should be enough that it goes around 3 times. We'll need that in a minute, don't get rid of it. And also you'll need to take it around, but we'll do that in a minute. So there's a fresh start, so you get new neck beads. Initiation means to initiate, to start. So take up the big chunk of the rice grains. Yeah, I'm going to put a little into the palm of each of the 3 initiates. Nice, you are getting the blessings of these great brahmanas who have been in the movement for like 40, 45 years in some cases. I'm saying that we need blessings, so the blessings of the brahmanas are not little. Actually, they're very great. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I want you to hold out your right hand, and Paramahansa Guru is going to put a little of the akshatra into your right hand. We're going to perform the sankalpa now. Sankalpa means the vow. This is the Upanaya Samskara, and we're going to say some things about the timing and also the place. So you can give me some as well. Thank you. So take 2 spoonfuls of water from your archment pot and add it to the akshanta. And then keep your hand cupped. And when I tell you, I want you to allow the rice and the water to fall to the floor through your fingertips. So you tip your hand forward. But first we'll pronounce the Sankalpa. Om Vishnu, Om Tat Sat, Adyagamame Ditya Parade, Svetavahara Kalpe, Vagushataka Manvantare, Astavingsati Kaliyugasya, Pratama Sandhyayam, Brahmavingshato Vatmanayam, Panchashata Navatringshat, Karagnisamvatsare, Vitarayana Ayane, Sharabrita, Vishnu Masi, Krishna Pakshe, Minarashe State Baskare, Navamititau, Vavivashaya Varanvitayam, Pushyami Nakshatra Samyutayam, Jambadvipe Bharatakande, Meti Bhutasya Samaya Dakshine, Lavanana Vishotari Kone, Gangaya Paschame Bhage, Achutragotra Chavananda Krishna Dasaha, Shri Krishna Prityatam, Upanaya Samskara, Kamaham Karisyami. So tip your hand forward and allow the rice to fall on the floor through your fingertips. You can brush your hand off if it's sticky. So this is Sankalpa. The Sankalpa tells when this event took place and also where it took place. Therefore we mention things like Srita Bahara Kalpe. A kalpa when the white form of Varahadev appeared, and I'm also mentioning that it is the Kali Yuga, the Astavingsati, the 28th millennium and the 7th Manvantara. We know that because Krishna appeared previously. So the timing is given in this way. When we're saying Uttarayana, the sun is now travelling in the northern course. Sharad, Rital, that's the season. Then Vishnu Mas, that is the month according to the Vedic culture. Krishna Pakshe, which is the fortnight of the dark moon. Meena Rasi, which means the position of the sun. Navami, which is the lunar day today. In this way, we're giving the timing. And then also we're mentioning that it is occurring in a particular place either. Okay, so now we are going to start a few things up, and before I do that, I want to first beg protection. So we're chanting a mantra from the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sanat Kumaro Vayukama Devat Daya Shishamam Pati Deva Helanat Devarashinarya Purushantarantarat Kumo Harimam Nirayana Sheshat. So the translation, I think I've got it here somewhere. Yeah. The translation is as follows. May Sanat Kumar protect me from lusty desires. As I begin some auspicious activity, may Lord Harigriva protect me from being an offender by neglecting to offer my respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord. May Devashi Narada protect me from committing offences in worshipping the deity, and may Lord Kurma, the Tuitus, protect me from falling into the unlimited hellish modes. Okay, so we're going to call the fire now. We're going to light up the fire and call it. Actually, in the culture, there are different samskars, and for each different samskar, we call Agnidev in a particular form. So in the Upanayana, the initiation ceremony, we call the fire called Samudmama. So that is what I'm going to do now. And go see you can give us a little of your sweet kirtan. Om Prajapati Vishnu Vishnu Chandaha Shri Vishnu Deva Agni Stapade Namaha Om Om Boha Swaha Om. Om Sabadavadavate Ishmapacha Agni Tom Sabadavadavate Ahayami स्थापयामि प्रभु कृपाय स्वागतं कुरु Arms straight up. In the big bundle, we have closed the 10 directions to prevent any auspiciousness from entering. So we call the fire, so now I'm going to worship the fire with the fire of the trust. Pushpani Samadana Samadana so you can stop. Thank you very much. So now, according to scripture, the tongue of Vishnu is present in the form of Agni Dev in his Uddhava form. So when we call Vishnu, it is necessary to perform some glorification, some worship and some glorification. So there are some mantras which we're going to chant, which are very beautiful mantras. I'll give the translations. This is Vishnu Stuti, glorification of Vishnu. Om Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam Sadapasyanti Surayo Diviva Chakshara Tatam Tad Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagrivangsa Samindate Vishnu Yat Paramam Padam. This is from the Rig Veda. The translation is as follows. Just as the sun rays in the skies are extended to the mundane vision, so in the same way the wise and learned devotees always see the Supreme Lord, because those highly praiseworthy and spiritually awake brahmanas are able to see the spiritual world. They are also able to reveal the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu. Om Krishna Vai Satchidananda Ganaha Krishna Adi Purushaha Krishna Purushottamaha Krishna Ha Om Kamadi Mulam Krishna Saha Sarvaikaryaha Krishna Kasankrit Adisho Mukha Prabhu Pujaha Krishna Nadis Tasmin Najandam Tapaye Vyam Mangalam Lavate Kriti. Lord Krishna is the color of a new rain cloud. Therefore he is compared to a transcendental cloud full of eternity, bliss and cognizance. He is the original Supreme Person. He is the origin of all activities and the one and only Lord of all. He is the worshipful Lord, the best of the demigods, the controller of Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu. Krishna is without any beginning. Whatever auspiciousness is found or within or beyond this universe, the devotee obtains in Krishna alone. This is from the Krishna Upanishad and the Rig Veda. And lastly, Aham Praturaham Yodya Swadam Aham Aushadam Mantroham Aham Evajam Aham Agni Aham Hajam. So Bhagavad Gita 9:16. But it is I am the ritual, the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter, the fire, and the offering. So this is the Stuti. So now the fire is pure, as we've called Lord Vishnu. Bring this warmness up a bit for me now, please. Kosi, you can sing your beautiful kirtan for us, because I want my ghee to be heated up a little bit. so you can stop after this one. Okay, so everyone knows the drill, then. Are you in good voice this morning? Yes. Is there anyone out there? Are you in good voice this morning? Okay, let's try that again. Are you in good voice this morning? Okay, we're going to need you to chant the mantras. You see, why we chant these mantras is we want blessings. We want blessings. The spiritual life is not easy. Srila Prabhupada says that the theory is very easy. Just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Right? Hello?
Yes.
But is the practice easy? No, we all know that, no. It's not easy. So we need the blessings, actually. Beginning with Krishna, Radharani, Krishna's associates, all the Guru Krampa. We offer oblations in the form of grains and ghee, and in return we're requesting blessings. Please bless these three devotees, that they'll be able to maintain their spiritual life very nicely. Prabhu Aniruddha Om Prabhu Aniruddha Prashuvayagyam Prashuvayagya Patimbhagaya Gata Sabhabhutasta Keta Puketamna Punatu Vanisha Vachanna Swanatu. This is sprinkling water on the fire. The translation is as follows. O Aniruddha, bring forth the sacrifice. Bring forth the Lord of sacrifice for good fortune. You are situated everywhere. Purify our desires. Purify our desire. May the Lord of words relish our prayers. So now to begin, we have to open the fire so that it can receive the offerings. So we do that in the following way. Om Bhur Swaha Idam Vishnave Idam Namana Om Bhur Swaha Idam Achyutaya Idam Namana Om Swaha Swaha Idam Narayana Idam Namana Om Bhur Swaha Swaha Idam Nanataya Idam Namana. Okay, so we open the fire. We hope we're not going to set fire to the place. We have them to remove the decorations from above because we don't want to set fire to the temple. Okay, so now we're going to find out if you're in good voice. We're going to chant the Mangala Charana Homa, and I'll ask you all to repeat. I'm going to do word for word. So I go Om, and you go Om. Hey, it's working nicely. Okay, here we go. Om Agyana Taminandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Manmalitam Vena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Swaha. So when we say Swaha, I want you to don't touch the grains with your forefinger, but between the thumb and the remaining fingers, and just throw a little of the grains overhand like this, overarm. Try not to touch the grains with your forefinger. Same reason we don't touch the japamala with a forefinger. Why? What's the forefinger used for? Wah wah wah. What's it used for? Accusation finger. So we don't touch the grains with the forefinger. So I say Swaha, and you? And our initiates will throw it now. Yes, overarm like that. Whenever I say Swaha, just don't worry if the grains don't go exactly in the fire. Sit comfortably and just throw like this. Okay, so we do 3 times. Swaha, Swaha, Swaha. Okay, it's going nicely. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Apitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapatantikam Swaha Swaha Swaha. Little more wood. Andeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sarvajatam Sahaganat Raghunatham Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Vahijana Krishna Padam. Sorry, excuse me, let's try that again. Savadutam Vahijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Vanita Shri Vishaka Anvitamscha Swaha Swaha Swaha. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Chaitanya Swamin Iti Namane Swaha Swaha Swaha. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavani Vastyata Deshatarine Swaha Swaha Swaha. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Iti Namane Shri Vaishnava Devi Naitaya Kripakdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhuyojjala Premadya Sirupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostate Namaste Gauravani Shrimurtaye Dinatanine Rupanuga Viruna Apasiddhanta Dantahanine Swaha Swaha Swaha. Namo Gaurkishoraya Sakshat Vairamya Murtaye Vipralamba Sambodhe Parambhajaya Te Namaha Swaha Swaha Swaha. Namo Bhakti-vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura-shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Vadayate Swaha 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 Gaura-vibhava Kumishtam Nidishta Sajjana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannataya Te Namaha Swaha 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 Vanchakalpa Trivishcha Kripasindhu Kaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Swaha 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 Namo Maha Ananyaya Krishna Prema Vadayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Swaha 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 Panchatatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavatanam Bhaktakyam Navami Bhaktashaktikam Swaha 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 Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Swaha 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 Jayatam Suratal Pangor Mamamanda Matirgati Matsavasya Padamboja Radhamadana Mohana Swaha 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 Divyan Vrindaranya Kalpadramada Srimad Ratnagana Singhasanastau Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Deva Krishnavini Sevimanau Smarami Swaha 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 Srimad Rasa Prasadami Angshigata